Good morning, everybody. How you doing today? Welcome to episode 90 of Mornings with Mark. Crazy. Thank you for participating. Thank you for following along for 90 episodes of this. Today, a difficult one. And I say that because a couple things crossed my mind this week. As you can tell by, for those of you watching the vlog, by the poor lighting because it's pre-dawn and the background. I'm in a hotel room in San Francisco. I'm still out here for Serverless Conf. Pre-conference activities have been kicking off the last couple days and really started some great discussions. And I'm on stage early this morning talking about security. So that was in my mind as I'm prepping for that talk, as I'm adjusting. That talk is about security culture and how a lot of the stuff is going to collide in the serverless community. Traditional security culture and the serverless sort of ethos really conflict, and there's some interesting things there that I've been diving into over the last few months, actually the last, 2 years already, research-wise. Also, I read a very interesting article online this morning about toxicity sort of in social networks, and I got a really interesting extortion email last night. Those three things kind of rolled together and started to brew in my mind the challenge around security and what security's role is. Now, any of you who have heard me speak publicly, you'll know that I have a different definition of cybersecurity. The common held one tends to be something along the lines of stopping bad guys, protecting systems from hackers, this kind of stuff. Great activity, definitely part of security. I don't think it's its entirety. If you ask somebody within cybersecurity, you're going to get something along protecting the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of data, which is the technical definition. For me, it's really simple. I like the definition for cybersecurity that it's to make sure whatever you've built works as intended and only as intended. Nice and simple. So if you're building a system to process lunch orders, that's all it should do. It shouldn't do dinner and breakfast. It should just do lunch orders. Because if somebody's using it to order breakfast or to try to, do something else, then that's running against what you intended. So stopping hackers, preventing data breaches, all that stuff's included. So very clear definition. But the flip side is that changes the culture, and that's part of what I'm going to be talking about today. And I'm actually going to share out my screen, and I will show you. So this is the main slide, the intro slide from my talk today, calling BS on security a cultural challenge. And that's what started getting me down this path, this thought process, because obviously I was prepping for this talk. I like to be well prepared before I go on stage. But then I got an email, and here's the text of that email. Now, I passed this along to my team, not in any requirement to do anything, but just wondering how many people will fall for this. And we think it's actually a significant amount. So basically what it is, I'm going to read this email out for you folks on the podcast. It says, I will come directly to the point. I know, and they had my actual, an old throwaway password here. This is your password. More to the point, I'm aware of your secret, and I have proof of this. You don't know me personally, and no one employed me to examine you. It's just your bad luck that I stumbled across your bad deeds. Actually, I set up a malware on the adult videos, parentheses porno, and you visited this site to have fun, parentheses, you know what I mean. While you were busy watching videos, your web browser began operating as an RDP, a remote desktop, having a keylogger which provided me accessibility to your screen and also your webcam. Immediately after that, my software gathered all of your contacts from your Messenger, FB, as well as mailbox. Next, I gave in more time than I should have, digging into your life and created a 2-screen video. The first part shows you the recording you had been viewing, and the other part shows the capture from your cam, parentheses, it's you doing nasty things. Now, the email continues to go on and says, essentially, this isn't personal, you need to pay me $2,600 as a confidentiality fee. If you ignore this, I'm going to send out that 2-screen video to everybody you know. If you pay me, I'll erase everything right away. Hey, you might be thinking call the cops. Don't. I've planted a tracking pixel in this email. I'll know if you do anything. And then it goes on to go about about payment. It's a non-negotiable offer. Don't waste my personal time or yours. This kind of thing. Of course, this is all BS. What happened is some enterprising cyber criminal has gotten their hands on a data breach that was either in the clear, or they've reversed the password hashing, and they have a set of emails and a password. So what they do is they write this up, they send it to the email with the subject line of the password they found in the data dump, and they try to run this scam. There's no tracking pixel in the email. I looked at all the source. They send it from Hotmail. They created this email in a Word doc, which on some level as a security professional sort of offends me. And they're trying to run the scam to get you to pay. Now, nobody's paid to the wallet that I was sent, but I'm sure other people have paid, because if you don't know any better, this is scary. If you had been watching adult videos, nothing wrong with that, but maybe you, feel that you're vulnerable to this, and maybe you pay. So this criminal, it takes them no effort whatsoever to write a script that sends this email to everybody in the data dump, a very low cost crime for them, and it comes off. It's another example of sort of toxicity in the system. Now, email's been around for 40 plus years. There's not much we can do about this, but I also stumbled across this fantastic article from Everywhereist. So Geraldine is the Everywhereist, at Everywhereist on Twitter, everywhereist.com online, and she posted an article called "What Happened When I Tried Talking to Twitter Abusers." She posted this yesterday, and it's gut-wrenching. It's an absolutely gut-wrenching article. She goes through and explains that she replied to people who were being offensive, who were being misogynistic, who were being aggressive and near violent on Twitter, and asked them flat-out questions like, would you say this to somebody in person? What did you mean by that? What is your desired outcome from this type of thing? And of course, the results are somewhat expected. People who are participating in this sort of toxic environment are not willing to engage in a productive discussion. So this is a great article. I'll tweet this out shortly. For those of you who are watching the vlog here, obviously you can see the URL. For those of you on the podcast, everywhereist.com. It's a great piece. Now, why I started thinking about this was because security has a role here. If you go back to my definition, make sure that systems work as intended and only as intended. Now, you're not going to be able to stop toxicity in tools that connect people. It's just not going to happen. I've talked about this ad nauseum with media, in relation to Facebook, in relation to Twitter, in relation to various scams, YouTube, things like that. Security requires people, it requires process, and it requires products. Now, the products help enforce the process, which helps amplify the people, and all three need to work together. Now, like I said, you're not going to stop toxicity on social networks. You're not going to stop toxicity on something like email. If you connect a billion plus people on a platform like Facebook, a good percentage of those are going to be good people. Unfortunately, larger than we would like percentage are going to be assholes. That's just the way it is. And there's an entire spectrum of people within that billion. The challenge is creating a system that helps respond when things get out of whack. And one of the things that's really frustrating in the Everywhereist article and in other reports of abuse isn't the fact that the abuse happens. That's a people problem, and we're not going to solve people with technology. It's the lack of response from the platform when it's reported, when it's verified, when it's authentic. And I think that's a security failure. I think security has a big role to play in something like that, where you need to build a system. If you're building a system to let people communicate or to let people do anything, and there's the potential for abuse, so if there's humans, there's the potential for abuse, you need to be able to create mechanisms that help get that back under control. And that's not censoring content necessarily. That's making sure that there's a process that's quick and efficient in place for that bad content to be reported, for action to be taken when an incident occurs. So it's setting up guardrails, it's setting up additional work there. And I think from security perspective, we in the community like to resort back to technical solutions. Hey, we'll implement machine learning to automatically get all this stuff. Not going to happen. It's just not possible with the technology we have at hand today. So there's a role there. It needs to be part of discussion. It goes to episode 89's topic on discussion at scale. When anytime people are engaged, there's negativity there. Now, I know this has gone longer than usual, and I appreciate your patience. lots to think about here. Absolutely lots to think about, lots to discuss, hopefully positively and constructively. Let me know, what do you think, at MarkNCA online, in the comments down below for the vlog, as always by email, especially for podcast listeners, me@markn.ca. Important, critical topic. What do you think? What are your experiences? What's your perspective? Have you thought of security in that aspect before? Let me know. I hope you are set up for a fantastic day. I will be live tweeting a lot from Serverless Conf. I am speaking this morning on security and security culture. I hope you have a fantastic day. I will see you online and have that discussion with you, and I will hopefully see you on the show tomorrow. Take care.